Coming to New York is like getting high for the first time. You experience the city from afar. Or perhaps you commute to work, or maybe you come in for the occasional play or nightclub. Perhaps you were a student going off to college in the Big Apple. It really doesn't matter. Once you've had your first shot of New York, you want to recapture the thrill, the jolt you got when you first got high on the city. Abby had noticed 3 postings on the bulletin board of her synagogue. One was on 96th Street between Broadway and Amsterdam. It was being subleased by a doctor for $750 a month. Now, it turned out that the good doctor was using the apartment as an office, and he would have been happy to lease it to me if I could just stay away from the apartment until 8 o'clock every night. I could have the place to myself on weekends, barring any medical emergency, of course. Now, he pointed out that an examination table was a very comfortable place to sleep. When I asked him what I would do if I wanted to bring a girl home, he proceeded to pull out a pair of stirrups from the table. It was a high floor, and by a stretch of luck, there was a playground directly across the street from me rather than a high-rise. This allowed me a complete and unobstructed view of the high-rise that was 2 blocks away from me. But you have to understand that among my immediate family, I am the only member who does not hold an advanced degree beyond a BA. For example, my father has an MBA. My mother has a master's in remedial reading. My brother is a doctor. My sister is a lawyer. My brother's wife is a doctor. My sister's husband is a lawyer. My wife is a doctor. Her sister is a doctor. Her other sister is a doctor who's married to a lawyer. I am the Indian chief. Now you might ask, why bother to take a car to the city? After all, I certainly didn't need it to go to work. I'm always hearing about a certain actor in California who brags about driving around in an electric car. Big deal. I've been taking an electric car to work for years. It's called a subway. So why did I bring the car to the city with me? Well, first and foremost, I managed through my real estate job to get an excellent deal on a parking spot. Okay, it was 90 blocks away from my apartment, but a Manhattan parking spot is a Manhattan parking spot, and it was indoors. Still, it was very confusing to my non-city dwelling friends. Why don't you jump in your car and join us, a friend would ask. I'd have to explain that it's not that easy. Well, you still have the car, don't you? Yes, but we don't live together. Your car needs new brakes and a steering adjustment, my mechanic informed me. Oh, and by the way, you failed inspection. Oh, was it the brakes? I asked. Oh, no. One of your taillights was out. Would that be the one I asked you to fix? Yeah, that's the one. And this was the man I was entrusting my brakes to. I once was out of state in a rental car. There was only one very tight parking spot available. Still, I pulled up and parallel parked the car on the first try. And there were these 2 men watching me, and after I parked the car, one of them came up to me and said, "New York?" I said, "Yes." He turned to his friend and said, "Told you." And it's times like these that I really love living in the city.